Black Critic. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope everybody's having a nice day. Today we're gonna change it up a little bit. This is gonna be kind of like a two-parter. There's things on my chest I want to get off politically. I try to stay away from political topics sometimes, but I just gotta say my piece as far as what it is, because in certain places and certain spaces we have a lot of black people disseminating a lot of bad information, information that just pretty much tells the whole truth of the political atmosphere as what's going on right now, and politically, historically, when it comes to the diaspora here and our experience here in the West, here in America, here. So without further ado, I'm just gonna get to that topic, and then I'm gonna have something pretty much towards the end. As you can see in the heading of this video, I'm gonna tell you what niggeritis is. It's pretty much a dysfunction that Black Americans have. FBA has, people who want to claim FBA or whatever, and it's something that just us here in the diaspora, we do suffer, as well as Caribbeans and stuff like that. But I'm gonna let you know what it means as far as like suffering this psychosis called niggeritis. So without further ado, let's get into the political segment of this channel, of this video right now. So welcome. So the first segment I want to do and address is CRT and Republicans pushing CRT. For those of you that don't know what CRT is basically an acronym for critical race theory. What critical race theory is basically discussing matters of race. Now, CRT is mostly a college level course, but what Republicans are saying, because they are very big on identity politics, the Republicans don't offer anything tangible that will help the everyday average American, just succeed. They don't do anything to stop inflation. They're pro corporation. They're not pro everyday average man, even though that's what they say. They run on social ideas, but when they rule from a corporate standpoint. But anyway, CRT is anything they're lying saying is being taught in elementary schools, from elementary schools to high schools. But CRT is what they call CRT is just basically regular average history. So they will call something CRT like being taught slavery in America, or what happened to the Native Americans as far as like the Trail of Tears and the transatlantic slave trade. Those things they're now saying is CRT in Florida. So I'm going to play, this is a Florida news station right here. And what they're trying to do now is saying that math books has CRT in it. They cannot show you any proof of what are they talking about as far as like CRT. So maybe they have some word problems. Like, hey, you have Jennifer here and her four friends. If you take away her four friends, let's say, four of her friends are all black, and then Maria comes with her five friends. How many friends do we have? Oh my gosh, niggers and spics. Oh my gosh, CRT. Maybe it's that. I don't know. But the Board of Education themselves doesn't have an answer for it. And it's a whole Republican corrupt system that's going on down over there in Florida right now. So without further ado, I'm going to show you the video of this madness.
The Florida Department of Education rejected more than 50 new math books, in part because of concerns about critical race theory. The DOE says it's rejecting publishers' attempts to indoctrinate students, but the department didn't show any examples of where CRT even existed in the books. West 2's Marlene Martinez spoke with parents on both sides today.
Florida leaders are making good on their promise, keeping critical race theory out of the classroom, something Governor Ron DeSantis said he wants codified into Florida law last year.
Nobody wants this crap.
The Florida Department of Education already banned CRT from K-12 public schools last summer. Now, the DOE announced it rejected the dozens of textbooks shown on this list. 54 math books that publishers submitted to the state. It's the largest textbook rejection in Florida history. The DOE's reasons? Some books don't align to state standards, and others include prohibited topics or unsolicited strategies, like CRT.
We don't want things like math to have, some of these other concepts introduced. It's not been proven to be effective and quite...
Notice they got the coon-ass Negroes there co-signing this. Like, they always have to have some silly Negro as a political prop for a white man to just demonize racism, right? It's like they're demonizing racism for racism being taught, right? But math books aren't history books. But you can see how they have these Negroes here that no one knows who they are, what they are, but they're there as political props.
And quite frankly, it takes our eye off the ball.
We should stick to apples and frogs and, counting in those ways.
Ashley Hall is the chair of the conservative parents group Moms for Liberty in Brevard County.
I think it's great that this is being brought to light and that there's a hyper focus on it.
She's a part of a group called Moms for Liberty, but wants to take other people's liberty and educational liberty to teach in a fluid way. Yeah, typical Republicans say that they say they're one thing, but they preach something different.
On it, I would love to see the examples myself.
The DOE hasn't revealed those CRT examples. The governor's office says that's because the material is confidential and proprietary. But the orange...
Confidential and proprietary. That's another way of saying bullshit. We don't have an answer for you.
County Teachers Union plans to find out, especially in light of their little library stocked with banned books from this year. It's a mission that Jen Cousins shares as co-founder of the Florida Freedom to Read Project.
That's when indoctrination happens, when you whittle down so narrowly what information people can access, right?
Public school districts say they don't even teach CRT. Cousins says this is Florida closing the book on what's important.
Exactly. Like I said before, no elementary school, junior high school, or high school teaches the curriculum CRT, which is a college course curriculum, in their schools. So what Republicans do, they always covert certain things to suit their needs because they're extremely nefarious. They can never be honest or straightforward. So they're going to have to say, and I've heard this said before, well, CRT, I consider teaching my children about slavery in this country, civil rights in this country, and Native Americans in this country on critical race theory because you're teaching my white child to hate himself and to hate this country. For the Republicans, the white Republicans that respond to the question of why is CRT such a thing, what's your problem, what's your beef, that's the answer they give. That's the answer that they give. So it's basically all white fragility. But this is the Republican Party. They care only about how white people feel and about white sovereignty, about white rights, no matter how minuscule or trivial it is. They feel that they're being attacked, right? So no way you're not going to have the Republican Party, which is their base, is just mostly white supremacists. They're not going to tolerate the truth being told that makes white people look bad. All right, so let's continue.
They're trying to whitewash history. It's just another way that the Republicans are starting culture wars that we don't need, and they're neglecting the real issues that Floridians are facing.
In Orlando, Marlene Martinez, West 2 News.
Now, once again, the Department of Education did not provide examples of critical race theory that it found in the textbooks. They said publishers can appeal the rejection and revise their material.
So how can that makes no sense? They're saying that, well, we could revise your material, but we're not going to tell you why the initial material that you submitted is flawed. So how can I revise something if I don't know what to revise? It's all a freaking game. It's all that it is, that you need to take the stuff out about slavery. You need to take the things out about Native Americans. Texas was doing that too as well. Another red state. They've been trying to take slavery out of the textbooks for years. So here in the United States, Texas is usually they set the standard as far as like what the educational standard is going to be for the rest of the country. But they've been trying to take slavery out the textbooks for the longest. Obviously, there's been a lot of pushback, but now they're weaponizing CRT in order to do that. You know, so again, all this is white fragility.
Education has decided to ban math books, a huge percentage of math books for elementary school students. And the reason why they've decided to do this is because they're concerned that the math books include CRT and other theories that they disagree with that have been banned by Governor Ron DeSantis. Now, the details are fascinating, especially because the Education Department refuses to give any specifics. So there are no receipts, and I have a theory on why they're doing this. So the Florida Department of Education stated 54 out of 132 of the textbook submissions would not be added to the state's adopted list because they did not adhere to Florida's new standards or contained prohibited topics. The release said this is the press release from the Education Department, said the list of rejected books makes up approximately 41% of submissions, which is the most in Florida's history. So let's just stop for a second. As we know, critical race theory, CRT, is a graduate level, meaning it's not even taught in undergrad for the most part. Graduate school is where that theory is taught and debated. It's in a college setting. This is not what's taking place in elementary schools, and it certainly is not being injected in math textbooks. But let me give you more details. Reasons for rejecting textbooks included references to critical race theory, inclusions of Common Core, and the unsolicited addition of social emotional learning in mathematics. The highest number of books rejected were for grade levels K through 5, where an alarming 71% were not appropriately aligned with Florida standards or included prohibited topics and unsolicited strategies, aka 71% of the math materials for kindergarten through 5th grade were rejected. Okay, they just rejected it. Now, they write in their press release about this, quote, "It is unfortunate that several publishers, especially at the elementary school grade levels, have ignored this clear communication and have attempted to slip rebranded instructional materials based on Common Core standards into Florida's classrooms, while others have included prohibited and divisive concepts such as the tenets of CRT or other unsolicited strategies or indoctrination, despite the Florida Department of Education's prior notification." And by the way, tenets over in that graphic, if you want to put it up real quick, is in brackets because we had to correct the Florida Department of Education. They had written it as tenants, as in people who rent an apartment.
Idiots. That makes sense because they're Republicans and they have a war on intelligence. I'm not kidding. So when they started the war on science, we called it out. Evolution shouldn't be taught. Well, it's facts. I know, but the facts make me uncomfortable. But I know, but it's a science class. We have to teach biology. How else do you want us to teach it? I just lie to them. Say that women came from the rib of man. That's...
He has a point there because, They did a survey. Republicans, for like the past 6-7 years, right? They did a survey, or have way less education, or more, or way less educated as far as being college graduates than would be Democrats. And when you, for the past, since COVID and everything like that, when you hear the average Democrat talk, it's like, what? Did you even pass junior high school? Because they're so anti-science. They're anti-science because they don't know science. So it's kind of like a redundant thing to, it's not redundant thing to say. It's kind of like a super thing to say, because you have to understand science as a whole to reject it. I think they're just more ignorant of science, so they don't understand science, so they just rejecting something that they really can't understand to begin with. So he's absolutely right.
But that's not biology. That's your voodoo in your particular other setting, okay? So they always hated that. They always hated science because of that. Then, vaccines. Oh, goddamn science. We don't like science. So I said at one point, it's going to get so absurd, they're going to do a war on math. And here we are.
Yeah.
Okay? Because they want to replace all facts with their propaganda. So math has lots of facts. And they hate it. I mean, isn't this greatly ironic? Because they're like, cancel all the other stupid classes. We just need to do reading, writing, and arithmetic, okay? Now they're like, okay, fine, cancel arithmetic, okay? What is the tenets of CRT? They say that because, of course, they're not teaching critical race theory in kindergarten through 5th grade in math. So what they're probably referring to is, they mentioned a black person. Boo! Boo! We hate black people! Tenets of critical race theory. Take away all the math.
But did they? Because, I don't even know if that's the case, because they did not provide a single concrete example. Because why would they? They don't need to. They have the governor on their side, the governor empowering them. And my take on this is a little different. Obviously, it's based on speculation, so take it for what it's worth.
Because they won't tell us why they did it.
They won't tell us, exactly. No, when they say that they want to do away with certain parts of the public education system, things like music, art, whatever it is, social studies, they claim that they're doing it because they want students to excel in what's important, right? They want them to excel in English and math. English and math, look at how bad the English and math scores are. But I think that's a lie. I think there's more to it than that. I think that they specifically want to dissolve public education. In fact, some of the prominent individuals on this, in this Florida Department of Education have been very blunt about it. So let's get to that. First, let me start off by giving you Governor Ron DeSantis' statement in regard to these book bannings. And let's be clear, they're banning books in Florida. They're banning books in Florida. He says it seems that
more Republican cancel culture. They always want to cancel things that they don't agree with instead of hey, let's have a discussion about it, or hey, let's have some type of forum, or let's expose why this is not a good idea. No, they just want to cancel it. At the same time, saying that Democrats, libertarians, socialists, or whatever are into cancel culture, when all they do, their bread and butter, is cancel culture.
Some publishers attempted to slap a coat of paint on an old house built on the foundation of Common Core and indoctrinating concepts like race essentialism, especially bizarrely for elementary school students. I'm grateful that, and remember this name, Commissioner Corcoran and his team at the department have conducted such a thorough vetting of these textbooks to ensure they comply with the law. Now, who is this guy that he's giving credit to? His name is Richard Corcoran. He's the commissioner, and he's had his share of political scandals in the past year. He announced that he'd be leaving his post by the end of April, but not because of any wrongdoing. It's because he wants to make more money as a political consultant. But let's get into his history with public education. His planned departure date is in Late April. It comes a few months after the Department of Education came under fire for trying to steer a multi-million-dollar contract to a politically connected company. The bidding scandal is under review by DeSantis' chief inspector general. I'm sure.
Now, I'm going to go back a little over here just to let you know where this is coming from.
But let's get into
Hold on.
history with public education. His planned departure date is in.
Yeah, I just want to bring to this point. You can see right here, for those of you who don't know or not really paying that much attention, you can see there at the bottom right that this is from this is a Tampa Bay newspaper. So you have people in Tampa Bay, they're keeping their eyes on this situation and telling you what's really going on there with the Department of Education in Florida and Ron DeSantis and how they are in cahoots politically. So the people down there at the Department of Education, as you see earlier, they can't even spell right. Republicans, right? So they're pretty much showing you here that Ron DeSantis and the people of the Department of Education, they're not doing their job, especially the Department of Education. Your job is to educate, not politicize education. That's what the DOE is supposed to be doing down over there. But you're going to see the corruption within the Department of Education and Ron DeSantis. That's the link they're about to show you here.
Late April. It comes a few months after the Department of Education came under fire for trying to steer a multi-million-dollar contract to a politically connected company. The bidding scandal is under review by DeSantis' chief inspector general. I'm sure. I'm sure that that's a totally good faith investigation, and they'll get to the bottom of that. They'll get to the bottom of that.
They get to the bottom dollar on that, I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, exactly. Let me give you more. Records and interviews show that before the Florida Department of Education asked for bids, it was already in advanced talks with the company to do the work, subverting a process designed to eliminate favoritism. The company is MGT Consulting, led by former Republican lawmaker Trey Trevisa of Tampa, a longtime colleague of the state's education commissioner, Richard Corcoran. Yeah.
Interesting turn of events.
Now, because of this investigation, a new round of bidding began. But I want to talk about Corcoran and his wife. They homeschooled their children. He is not a believer of public education. In fact, he's on the record for that. He has pushed for the privatization of education as Speaker of the House and called teachers' unions repugnant and evil. Teachers' unions repugnant and evil. The president of the Florida Education Association also called him a Betsy DeVos clone. He's clearly easily corruptible, by the way. In 2017,
so any public politician that doesn't want their average person to have unions, just automatically know they're corrupt. Because the unions is something is for the everyday average people, for them to fight if they feel that the company or the corporation is treating them unfair. So the fact that this man is against teachers' unions. Now, teachers have one of the most important jobs, and they don't even get paid enough for their job. My wife being a teacher, I know that besides that going around, right? They do a huge, tremendous job. They donate a lot of their time and their money, which is their salary, to getting certain materials and goods in order for their students to learn, right? And the union could be very instrumental in bringing up that issue. So, of course, someone that's a money-grubbing, hungry Republican, someone that just wants to privatize education by taking money away from public schools and privatizing it, right, to people who just open public schools and just pretty much just siphoning money from public education, which is the taxpayers. So anyway, I'll have them tell it.
Florida House Speaker Richard Corcoran and one of only 2 state-level politicians who attended the infamous Koch brothers-hosted summit in Colorado, was one of them. He promptly flew home and announced a plan to kill Florida's public election financing laws, which help elect candidates who don't want donations from the corporations, utility companies, real estate magnates, and billionaires who effectively control state politics.
Of course.
And as a former DeSantis himself, and as for DeSantis himself, I'm sorry about that, he's been bankrolled by none other than the DeVos family. And remember, the DeVos family has one specific goal: privatize public education.
And during the Trump administration, what did Trump put to that? All right, Betsy DeVos. Betsy DeVos was in charge of education, right? And what's her goal? She has a whole company. Her husband has a whole company. They're the ones that would benefit and get like student loans. So they're the ones that try to get people to get their student loans. So they have a huge company that gives out loans and collect on student loans. So they're pretty much all about money, and they are for the privatization to get taxpayers' money in education to use that same tax money and siphon it into private education. So they don't want to pay for the education themselves. They want taxpayers' money for public education into private schools, like charter schools, where you could do pretty much whatever you want, and you don't have any particular criteria that you have to adhere to.
They're on record with that. They're very aggressive with that. Former Education Secretary DeVos and her family have donated more than $280,000 to back Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' re-election effort amid his crackdown on discussions of race and sexual orientation in schools. My theory is they want the students to fail in everything, including their math scores, so they can make a case for privatizing public education. That is what the real goal is here. And they'll just cite critical race theory or whatever culture war they're engaging in, because it's not about the actual culture war for them. I want you guys to understand that. That's the facade. What this is really about is power, profit, and privatizing education. And that is the direction they're headed in states like Florida.
So that is a great point and great research by Anna.
By Kate. I want to give credit to our producer, Kate.
Yes. I just want to summarize, though. It's not just one issue. So is there the cancel culture of banning books and banning anything that doesn't fit Republican propaganda? Definitely. Do they also hate the teachers union? They think it's democratic and they want to destroy the teachers. Yes. Those two things are very important. But the third part that Anna's talking about here is so true. And I'll give you one last thing to give you a sense of how true it is. So when they talk about canceling social emotional learning, when they cancel art projects, music projects, all these things, they say, they talk so derisively. Different ways to learn. You don't need stinking different ways to learn. Everybody learn the same way. Okay. Why? Well, that'll lower your test scores because it clearly makes more sense. Because everybody's brains are wired differently, that, hey, if you have a couple of different ways of learning, it might help some students more than your standard way. Yes, arts, music, etc. It's really important. How do I know they think it's really important? Because when you go to the private schools, the number one thing they emphasize is electives.
Yep.
They're like, look at all these electives we have, unlike those stinking public schools.
They're learning Mandarin. Okay, they're banding it up, playing the tuba and stuff. They're having a grand old time.
And that's why I let this play, is to see the hypocrisy. Everyone knows charter schools, like, go to charter schools. You can do all these things. You can do all these things. They got all these electives. They got all these programs. This is like that. When you try to do it in a public school, depending what your principal is, and if they're willing to do these things, but from a Republican standpoint, they're no good. They're no good. This, that, and the other. But again, it's pretty much trying to see the children fail in order to privatize and to make money off of education. That's all that this is. That's why I pretty much let them shoot their shot as far as like what this whole deal is about, as far as the critical race theory thing that Republicans like to use because that riles up their base, because their base are mostly racist. So of course that's gonna rile them up. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, what, or niggas getting one up on us? No, we can't have that. You know, even if it's just the truth, it doesn't matter what the truth is what they consider the truth and what they feel is worthy of being taught. And obviously, the plight of black people historically and presently is something that the Republicans are not interested in, right? So their base mostly are a bunch of white races or black people who are just clueless or choose to be clueless and deluded.
In the private schools.
And in the private schools, whether it's Florida, California, or anywhere else, you will never see any discussion of should we ban teaching Mandarin because the Chinese are evil, etc. In the public schools, if you try to teach Mandarin, they'll rip your head off. But in their schools that their kids go to and that they make money off of, right? Electives like you wouldn't believe, gorgeous arts centers for arts, music, robotics classes, etc. They get everything.
Coding. There's also coding. That's like a new thing now for coding. Charter schools also have coding.
Get the whole enchilada. And they redirect public money into those private schools so the DeVosses can get rich, so that their rich kids can have great education, and they could steal the money from public education that goes to your kids.
So they don't have to pay taxes to fund the public education.
So that's this scam. Now, how many?
And he put it right. This is all a scam. Republicans don't care about black people. I keep saying this all the time. Anyone that follows my channel and whatever little political spiel that I do, you guys know that Republicans do not like or care about black people. That's not to say Democrats do. Democrats will promise you certain things, do a lot of half measures. Well, okay, we can't do this for you, but we'll do that for you, right? Democrats will condemn racists. They'll do that. Some of them would mean it. Some of them don't when it comes to their actions. But that is not the same as Republicans who would stop history being taught in schools. There's no Democrat saying, "Oh, that's back in CRT." Yeah, CRT is the thing. There's no Republican saying, "Oh, don't teach about Native Americans and the Trail of Tears." There's no Democrat doing that. Those are all Republicans because Republicans are simply fragile, racist assholes. That's all Republicans are. They're into identity politics, and that's what they are on. They were kind of always like that, but since Trump was here and he's now their white hope because of Obama, it's pretty much a part of their DNA right now. You know, so even during the whole Obama era, you know, they're saying all these racist things about Obama. They're burning effigies of Obama. They saying all these racist derogatory things about Obama. But these are the Republicans. The Democrats don't do that. The Democrats is on. Look, if someone's on the Democrats and you got a black person on the Republican side saying a lot of coon shit, the Democrats don't call them, you know, these stereotypical derogatory names that you will call a black person. You know, they don't do that. Democrats don't do that. They'll simply disagree with the person, right, based upon their ideology. But if it's a Republican, it's different. If a Republican, as you've seen with Kanji, Jack Brown, whatever, what did they do? Did she really graduate from, I think, Harvard? Yeah, let me see that. Let's see if that really. Why? Because you're black. And black people is not really that stupid. Did you come in on affirmative action? Did that happen? You know, these are what Republicans do. They always have these racist tropes about black people not being qualified enough because they feel black people are not smart enough. There's no Democrat does that to a black Republican on the other aisle. They don't do that to Larry Elder. They don't do that to Candace Owens. They don't do that to Jesse Lee Peterson. They don't do that to all these Sambo coon ass Republicans that comes on Fox News and that are QAnon followers and alt-right followers and Proud Boy followers. That, they don't do that to them. They just attack their position. And if they mention their blackness, they say, hey, it's a shame you as a black person are rooting for the Republicans, a group of people that that are proud racists. They're proud KKK members. They drawn. I said this before. They have drawn lines in the sand about their racism and about them not liking black people and how black people are initially inherently violent, like Candace Owens saying black people are the most violent people in America. These are the things you got to do to be a black Republican, to be respected among other Republicans. You got to demonize black people. So on to the next segment. The next one on the agenda is that the Republicans, they don't want to be in debates anymore, right? This is as American as apple pie, presidential debate. So you can see right here in USA Today, it says Republicans to Presidential Debates Commission. We won't debate in 2024 unless there are changes. Basically, they don't like the questions that are being answered. Again, with Republicans trying to control everything and everybody and cancel culture, right? But they're for freedom, right? So this one, I remember this presidential debate and no one said nothing. This is how, Donald Trump is just a callous, unforgiving asshole. You don't like immigrants, fine, but you'll see what the topic is about that I'm talking about. Like why it's like so horrific.
Of the people come back. We have to send ICE out and Border Patrol out to find them. We would say, come back in 2 years, 3 years. We're going to give you a court case. You need Perry Mason. We're going to give you a court case. When you say they come back, they don't come back, Joe. They never come back.
Vice President Biden, your response.
Know the law. What he's telling you is simply not true.
Well, check it out. They don't come back.
Check it out.
All right, let's move on.
But we don't have to worry about it
because
they terminated it, so we don't have to worry about
Let's
it.
move on to the next
And you have
section.
525 kids not knowing where in God's name they're going to be and lost their parents.
Go ahead.
See, he said good. At the end of that, he said good. Biden says this, all these kids are not going to know where their parents are, and Trump said good. And I'm like, what? So if you don't like immigrants, so what? FBA, that's why FBA are extremely conservative in that regard. And people say, well, Obama did the same thing. Obama didn't put kids in cages and then separate them from their parents to the point where they don't know where their parents are at all. Some, I haven't heard about this story lately, but when I heard of it last, some children still don't know where their parents. Some parents still don't know where their children are. That's completely ridiculous. Obama never did that. But this is a person who's compassionate, who is for the people. And if you're a type of person, hey, look, I don't care, and things like that, then that's fine. Just don't say that you're backing a decent person. Here is another video that will give you a bit more context, and which pretty much says it all about why the GOP, the RNC, is bowing out of presidential elections and debates.
If you need any further proof that an aspiring autocrat is leading one of the two major political parties in America, look no further than the votes the Republican National Committee has taken this year. They voted to censure members of their own party, Representatives Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger, back in February over their participation in the January 6th committee. In that same vote, the RNC described the attack on the Capitol as, quote, legitimate political discourse. Today they voted.
They say the January 6th riots is appropriate political discourse. right? But when Black Lives Matter was at the Capitol, didn't raid the Capitol, didn't kill any police officers, didn't assault any police officers, made no threats to any political person as far as like a congressman or a statesman or anything like that. None of that was done, but the Republicans say that was a riot. That was a riot and that was violence. But January 6th, where they assaulted police officers, killed police officers, threatened to kill Nancy Pelosi and their own vice president, Mike Pence, that's just, normal political discourse. Yeah. Republicans.
Unanimously to pull out of the presidential debates that have been run by the nonpartisan nonprofit Commission on Presidential Debates since 1988. Trump had repeatedly criticized the commission after his widely panned debate performances in 2020. Today, the Republican National Committee made sure he wouldn't have to suffer through such an ordeal again. Calling the commission biased, the RNC said they would be looking for, quote, newer, better debate platforms. Did not elaborate on exactly what those platforms would be.
See how much of a beta male the Republican Party is? They like saying they're alpha males, but they're nothing but, less than beta males. All they do is cry. It's never about fairness. They do not like fairness, do not like an even playing field, right? These are just a bunch of whiny bitches.
Stuart Stevens is very familiar with presidential debates, especially from his work on the presidential campaign of Mitt Romney, also political consultant and senior advisor to Lincoln Project, and he joins me now. I thought at first this was maybe a bluff. This was, this was a way of kissing up to Trump, but it looks like they're actually doing it. And it seems to me like a pretty big deal. Like it's the end, it's the end of something. It's the breaking of something that can't be put back together. How do you feel about it?
Well, look, this is just a process. It's an autocratic playbook, and they're very methodically going through it. The idea is that they'll do it piece by piece, and therefore we won't notice the big picture. But when you read How Democracies Die by the two Harvard professors, their number one first rule of how autocrats rise to power is rejecting of democratic norms. And debate is at the heart of a democratic norm. I mean, in England, the prime minister has to do it every day. It really...
That's absolutely right. This is a part of our democracy where the voters, us, can see, hey, who and what am I voting for? What do they stand for? And things like that. So this is an even playing field. And like they said, it's something that's been done since 1988. So I believe we're probably around Reagan time, around that era. And you get to know who you're voting for. You have several debates so you can have a consensus of what they're about. But they can't have that because if the Republicans right now go up on stage, all the crazy things that they've done, all the crazy things that they said with January 6th, with Trump rejecting COVID, then accepting COVID, then rejecting the vaccine, then promoting the vaccine. And his impeachment proceedings and all the corruption that was going on in the White House, him firing his DOJ Jeff Sessions, and then hiring other people because Trump wants to use the people's lawyer, right? The people's lawyer. The DOJ doesn't work for Donald Trump. The DOJ works for the United States of America, right? He thinks it's his own crooked lawyers like Cohen. Right, that is obviously in jail right now. That's testifying against Trump because Trump doesn't have any of his filing any of his taxes, and he's going in for tax fraud and everything. But anyway, that's besides the point. These are things that they don't want to come to fruition for the American people that don't know. It's gonna definitely come out in these political debates.
It goes to sort of two trends in the Republican Party. One is Republican Party has become a party of fear. What is it not debating, but you're afraid to debate?
Yeah.
Nobody dodges a debate. They think they're going to win, or they think they...
Exactly. Why are you afraid to debate? Why are you afraid to debate? If you know that what you stand for is tried and true, right? Why would you be afraid to debate?
He did win. It's fearfulness. Why do you make it harder for people to vote? Because you're afraid what will happen if a lot of people vote. Why do you make it harder for immigrants? It's a fearfulness of gays, a fearfulness of higher education. Somehow the conservative movement in America has become a place that appeals to sort of that within us that is fearful. And it's
as far as I've been following the Republican Party, that's all the Republican Party is about. The Republican Party has always been about white sovereignty and white rights. And by preserving their so-called white sovereignty and white rights, they have to demonize the rest of the country. They have to demonize the Arabs. 9/11. They have to demonize the Mexicans, the Central Americans. They have to demonize the African Americans. That's all that is, because they're coming to get this. They're coming to get that. They're undermining this. They're doing that. Yes, you know why you don't have a job? It's those Mexicans. You know why that the prices are high and things like that? Is because of those black people probably taking your jobs, and these Arabs doing this and all this other stuff. It's the wars over there that's happening, that's causing all of the problems, despite the fact that we invaded places that didn't needed to be invaded. That was never a threat to America's national security, but we had interest in oil. That's what the Republicans are doing, right? So it's a very he's right. They're very disingenuous, and it is and has always been a party about fear.
It's a really disturbing autocratic tendency, because autocrats, their purpose is to make you feel safer. I will be the big brother. I will be the strong man, and I will make you feel safer. And that's what the Republican Party wants.
You know, there's a few things here. One is that this is about Trump's ego, because he got his butt kicked in those debates. He looked ridiculous and petulant in that first one, which now appears in retrospect he probably had COVID at it, that they were hiding, which is really wild to consider. But there's also...
See, that's another thing. Well, again, we all know Trump is dishonest. He had COVID during that debate. He didn't let anybody know. He didn't mask up or anything like that. He was just there breathing all over people, doing all these other things where he could affect his staff. Donald Trump cares about Donald Trump. He doesn't care about anybody else. And then come to find out right after the presidential debate, saying he had COVID. Probably knowing that he had COVID the whole time, but who cares, right?
Broader thing, ABC News did this roundup that Republican candidates in battleground states have been skipping debates quite a lot. Yeah. Over a half dozen GOP candidates in crucial state federal races have either skipped or not committed to primary debates. And there's this idea here of withdraw from any institutions you don't control that aren't in your bubble. That everything from the Committee on Presidential Debates to Hollywood to the Pentagon are all foreign other institutions that are part of the deep state that you want nothing to do with.
Yeah, you look at Ron DeSantis. His press secretary is kicking legitimate reporters out of press conferences because they don't like the questions they ask.
And that is a Trump playbook. When Trump first came into office, he was kicking CNN reporters out. I forgot his name. I think it's Costa. Probably Dave Costa. I forgot his name, but he was kicking out reporters out, and you're not allowed to do that. If you don't like the question, just say I'm not answering the question. You have the right as the president to answer the question, or not answer the question, or respond to the question however you want. What you don't have the right to do is silence the press, because that's a constitutional right. Freedom of the press is just as valid as freedom of speech. Right? So you can't just silence the press by kicking them out. So they're all just following the Trump playbook of cowardness.
This is absolutely what it's about. There's a shamefulness at it. And we think that somehow they're going to come to their senses. But this is their senses. This is what they want. They're not going to revert. This is really coming down to a choice. And as somebody who pointed out flaws in the Democratic Party for a long time, it's strange for me to say, but I don't know any other conclusion. But there are two parties in America now. One is a Democratic Party, and that is the big D Democratic Party. And the other is a party, the Republicans, that have become an autocratic movement. And that's really the choice. I think it's between democracy and autocracy.
And one of the things that's highlighted here in this decision to withdraw from this, right, is that there aren't necessarily tangible or short-term political consequences or electoral consequences for these kinds of moves. Like, I don't know in the end whether this hurts the Republican Party at the polls. I don't think anyone will care about it one way or the other midterms. I don't know if it hurts the candidate who's the eventual nominee, whether Trump or not. But the thing that kept it together was a shared sense of, like, we're in a democracy, we're candidates for office, and you debate and you negotiate about what the rules are and you fight over that. You take that away, there's nothing propping it up in a short-term political sense, I think, is part of what's been so unnerving about these last few years.
Yeah, unnerving is a good word, because, I think one of the things that we're learning here is how much of a democracy is based on goodwill and how much of it is based upon sort of a civil contract between a government, its politicians, and its people. So there's not a law that says you have to debate. Look, there's not a law that says the Republican National Committee can't meet tomorrow and declare that Donald Trump will be the nominee in 2024. You don't have to have primaries.
Right.
And this is an eroding of this process that it's very methodical. What they want to be is what's happened in Hungary. That's why the CPAC is meeting in Hungary. That's their goal.
Here at this segment right over here, the Proud Boys, one of the Proud Boys, they pleaded guilty to January 6th. If you don't know who the Proud Boys are, they're another Republican right-wing group that just based on just a racist group, pretty much pick fights to anyone that opposes the Republican Party, especially if you're black, especially if you're Native American or whatever. And the funny thing about it, they have Hispanic people in the Proud Boys, but though these are the Hispanics, these are the white Hispanics, the ones that consider themselves white. So they'll make you an honorary white person if you're gonna fight their battles. Just like black Republicans, they make you a nice little house nigga, put you up in the attic, set you up real nice as long as you talk bad about black people like Larry Elder and Candace Owens. So I found, I'm just reporting this because I found this to be interesting, because even among them, there's no honor in their chapters as far as like Republican goes. He pleaded guilty and he's flipping on them and he's pretty much, ratting them out. So that's one story. Just to let you know what's going on as far as like with the Republican Party, where you will not find that being told in certain black spaces, in so-called black media, especially the ones that are that claim to be Republican. They're totally dishonest. They would not report something like this because it makes their party look bad. And understood, they're not going to do that, but they're being very nefarious in pretty much leaving that out when they have a political discussion about the Republican Party. Me, as I said, I'm not invested in any party because I don't feel any party at this point have black people's interests at all. There's no candidate that has black people's interests at all. So you hear some people say that Trump's not racist. He does this, he does that. All these little weak-ass measures or irrational comparisons to prove that he's not racist, right? So, but the thing is, and I always said this, his supporters think he's racist, right? You have the Boogaloo Boys, you have QAnon, you have the alt-right, all these people that are extremely racist are a part of the Republican Party and back Donald Trump. So right here we have a story about J.D. Vance of back in the days when, not back in the days, but when he first started campaigning for Trump, how he really felt about Trump and what he was and what he stood for. So without further ado, roll tape.
J.D. Vance is the notorious candidate for a Senate seat in Ohio, and it turns out that a former buddy of his has leaked some text messages that he sent in regard to Donald Trump dating back to 2016. Now, J.D. Vance was very critical of Trump. That's not a secret. But it turns out that he even compared Donald Trump to Hitler. So Josh McLaurin is the lawmaker from Georgia who decided to share the screenshot. He says, the screenshot below is J.D. Vance's unfiltered explanation from 2016 of the breakdown in Republican politics that he now personally is trying to exploit. The America's Hitler bit is at the end. The public deserves to know the magnitude of this guy's bad faith. And then he shares the screenshot of the text message. I'm going to read it in its entirety because I think all of it is fascinating and it shows you what J.D. Vance really thinks, but will clearly message something completely different for his political aspirations. He wrote, again, back in 2016, but I'm not surprised by Trump's rise, and I think the entire party has only itself to blame. We are, whether we like it or not, the party of lower income, lower education white people, and I have been saying for a long time that we need to offer those people something, and hell, maybe even expand our appeal to working class black people in the process. Ooh, wow.
See that? So I have been saying this for a while, that Republicans are very uneducated people. They don't have that much education. So when they want to talk about climate change and how inflation is caused and how to stop inflation and things like that, they can't really have a proper discussion on the topic because they don't know about the topic. So even to the point where you see right here where J.D. Vance saying, well, hey, also black people, because we know that black people are disenfranchised politically and economically.
Imagine that. He continues to say, or a demagogue would, we are now at that point. Trump is the fruit of the party's collective neglect. I go back and forth between thinking Trump is a cynical person like a-hole like Nixon, who wouldn't be that bad and might even prove useful, or that he's America's Hitler. How's that for discouraging?
Yeah, well, how's that for a sleazy liar? And I don't mean that text. That's where he's being honest. So I'm going to get to that in a second. First of all.
So, again, we have a lot of Republicans, the ones that are honest, knows what Donald Trump is about. He is about white supremacy, white dominance, and economical power, mostly for him and his rich friends, so they could get something out of the system. The patsies are just his voters. You talk about, hey, we did a wonderful thing with the taxes. Yeah, you gave all that. You put Steve Mnuchin in there as Secretary of State, who used to work for Goldman Sachs. So of course they're gonna go pushing for tax cuts for the rich. So when he says tax cuts, some of them are too dense to realize, oh, tax cuts for who? It's tax cuts for the rich. But getting off on a tangent here, I'm gonna let them bring it to a close.
Unendorsement from Trump coming in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so we'll come back to that too. But that text.
Yeah, because you know how Trump is. So Trump is a little bitch. Anyone that says anything about him negatively in the slightest, if you're running for office, he just, he'll pull his endorsement, or he either endorse you or he'll pull his endorsement. So he's J.D. Vance is running for a seat in Ohio. And now that this text has come out, even though it was in 2016, and he's been on the Trump bandwagon for a while now, he's still gonna. I bet you Trump's probably still gonna pull his endorsement and not endorse him.
Message. Well, that's the real J.D. Vance. He's talking to, at the time, a friend, now I suppose a former friend, right? And he's telling his real feelings. And he thinks Trump might be the next Hitler. He thinks, hey, maybe we could actually try to help black people too. He's honest about who his voters are. He's honest all throughout that text. Now, the current J.D. Vance is the sleaziest liar you'll ever see. He's kissing Donald Trump's ass on the left, the right, the middle. And oh my God, he's using every critical race theory nonsense talking point from the right wing to alienate blacks and to get white, and by his own admission, uneducated whites to hate black people more. He's dividing us when we could be united.
Because we know that's always the thing. Even in the South, a poor man in the South that doesn't have 2 nickels to rub together knows he's in a way better position than a black man with something at least tangible, right? Because they know that whiteness is an asset. Whiteness is a privilege that can get you through this life here in America. So that trope is always being pushed due to white supremacy, because that's basically what white supremacy is. Just basically using your whiteness to gain an unfair advantage over other people.
On economic issues. Instead, he's dividing us on race. He's going with the worst hatred. He's helping to work with a guy he thinks might be Hitler. Does it get any worse than that? And the answer is maybe. The other guy in the race on the Republican side is Josh Mandel. And he is another guy who is nuclear level toxic. Okay? It's a house of horrors on the Republican side. By the way, you do have an alternative in that race.
So that's pretty much it as far as people who are in part of the Republican Party, and they know what their intentions are. They know what feeds their base. They know what are the lies, what are the truths, what are they really running on, right? So just take a step back and just analyze everything and do your own research as far as the party is concerned. Yeah, so coming down to my final point, excuse me if you hear a lot of noise, any background noise or whatever like that. I stepped outside, I'm in the hood. So anyway, my last point is this right here on Twitter, on the Hill, which says Sanders, he's opened up the running again for the White House bid again if Biden doesn't get his shit together. And I don't think Biden's going to get his shit together. You know, he promised black people the George Floyd bill. He promised us justice on all fronts, political and economical, and he has not done anything. Not because he doesn't want to. Oh no, not because he doesn't have the power to do it. He has the power to do it. He could do an executive order, right? But he knows that's going to upset the Republicans, because his whole job is making sure that the Republicans aren't too mad like him, just like what Obama did. Obama didn't want to upset the Republicans because the Republicans demonize the Democrats. That's how it's supposed to go. You're on a different team. If you give a fuck about what the Republicans think, go on the fucking Republican side. You're a Democrat, so you shouldn't give a fuck what the Republicans think. Do what you need to do far as what your constituents want. But no, they care about what the Republicans think. So Biden's not going to get his shit together, right, as far as doing all the things socially he's supposed to do. Then yes, he should not be. I don't even want him to even be running again. So what did I write here? So I'm the one right down below, Toth and Ma'at. So I wrote, oh, please do. Biden is a liar when it comes to keeping the promise to help black people. And Trump and Dump Trump is a racist who simply uses gullible Negroes as kumbaya political points. Right? So that's all that he does. Because like I said before, Trump is only interested in his own interests. So Bernie Sanders were to become president, I feel he's very genuine in saying what he's gonna do what he's gonna do. You know, he was the so people talk about, oh well, did he do the crime bill? Yes, because anyone understand the crime bill was a bipartisan agreement. So you had a lot of Republicans up to this day that did it, and they don't apologize for it, but people expect Democrats to apologize for it. Bernie Sanders was the only person that says, hey, look, I'm against this particular bill because it has a lot of things in there that's going to hurt black people. But if he didn't go along with it, it had a lot of things there also to protect women and other social programs in there that was very helpful and beneficial. So he's very genuine. I feel he's very genuine in that regard. As of Biden, who's pretty much failing right now, and he's not showing improving, versus Trump, who offered black people nothing, did nothing for black people as a whole. In his first 4 years, he did nothing, right? The 4 years that he did nothing. He just, got a bunch of niggas out of jail, a bunch of rappers out of jail, and shit like that. That's political brownie points. Right, there's a lot of if he wanted to really do something for black people, there's still a lot of black political prisoners that are still locked up. There's a lot of black people that's still being demonized for the things that they did, like Asada Shakur. She's still in Cuba. Trump don't give a fuck about black people, because he would have really did something that would affect black people as a whole. Getting Lil Wayne out of jail, getting A.S. Rocky out of jail and shit like that. That's the stupid, gullible bullshit. Obama did that. Obama, he got rid of, because he understood that, okay, the law for drugs is unfair. Is race based, right? Yeah, black people got more time for crack cocaine and all those other things. Obama let a couple hundred out, about 1,000 out. Again, that's a small measure compared to all the black people that were wrong by that law. So again, these are little tiny small measures, and you got niggas that jump up and down and say, oh, look, they're doing something real. No, it's not a fucking law. You just pardon some people. If you want to correct the wrongs of the past, you correct the wrongs of the past 100%, and you put a law in place so it won't happen again. But niggas are so happy and so desperate, a bunch of just well-wishers, thinking that, the little small measures that they did, Trump offering a bogus platinum plan for black people and all this like that is legitimate. You gotta be fucking gullible and silly as hell to actually believe that, when for 4 years he didn't do shit for black people, nothing coming close to that. And if anyone follows politics, we all understand why he will offer a platinum plan to black people, because he needed his base. I'm sorry, he needed to be elected back into office. So you will offer people the world if it would help you, right? And to see how genuine it is, you will see if he did anything close to that, which he didn't, which makes that offer a disingenuous offer, because he did nothing close to that, right? So with all the impeachment hearings and all these other things, him defrauding his constituents with Trump University, and having people, just donate to me, and he's donating it for his to his lawyer for him for the impeachment hearings and stuff like that. He has a scam. He's just a scammer, and he's just totally dishonest. You know what I'm saying? He takes his own campaign, own contributions, and do other things with it, right? Anyway, that's besides the point. So this is my last political point here, as far as like Bernie Sanders is running again, and I think that'll be a whole lot better. Hopefully the Clintons won't try to obstruct this, but I'm pretty sure the Democratic Party is gonna do their best to try to stop Sanders, as well as the Republicans. So Bernie has to fight everybody on both sides of the aisle. He got to fight the Republicans, and he has to fight the Democrats, because the Democrats don't want to give black people anything. They want to do half measures, putting on kente cloth and all these other symbolic bullshit without actually doing anything. So Bernie's going to have to fight people from both sides. So this will be it as far as the political segment, and we're going to get to the fucking FBA segment as far as like what is niggeritis. And I'm about to break that down. Welcome. You guys are probably wondering, what's this all about? But it'll all make sense very soon. So we're doing the whole what's niggeritis? Now, niggeritis to me it used to be, my mother used to use that word, is basically, when you eat and you get tired and shit like that, and then, you're too lazy to do nothing. Call that niggeritis. If you follow the Boondocks, they had the same thing like that, where Pops opened up a place called the itis, where you can eat whatever you want, and after you finish eating, you get niggeritis, you get the itis, and they got a bed there for you to sleep, right? Niggeritis. There you go. But I'm gonna put a little spin on it, right? Which is why I'm going into the topic we're about to go right now. So thank you for staying with me as long as you did, but I'm setting up the table so you can see the bullshit. So niggeritis to me, also in this definition, is about black people who are niggas, proud niggas, and don't know that they're niggas, right? They say they're supposed to be pro-black, supposed to be in a Pan-African space and things like that, but we have some people just let the niggery just spew out like it's facts, like it makes sense. Like, oh, listen to this nigga talk shit. It's degrading, it's this, it's that, and the other. It's propping up bad behavior and all these other things that we frown upon, but we're going to condone it in a so-called Pan-African space. So basically, I don't really do shows, or I'm not really that interested in things that are like, to me, it's like low-hanging fruit, young people stuff. Me, I'm married, I have children, I've been married for 20 years plus. So if I'm going to give someone advice on relationship and things like that, as a black man, as a black woman, I go about a certain way. But I was a part of a conversation that I was just giving my whole spiel of how I feel, and I was kind of like the bad guy. I'm just saying my 2 cents as far as like relationships, as far as like a black man and a black woman. But you had some people there that was condoning a lot of behavior there that, most of us will find, how should I put it, uncouth and not healthy, as far as like the discourse would be between a black man and a black woman, and there's going to be a lot of scapegoating. So I'm going to set the table right now. I'm going to play this video because we have grown men on here talking all that good shit and all this crazy shit about women like they're fucking pimps. Like they're, oh, I'm the man, and because I'm the man, my bitch better know this, and my bitch better do this, and my bitch, because these niggas is this, like that. These niggas is weak, and so this is how it's going to be. We're going to have this person come on here and talk about how much what a bitch could do and what a bitch could not do for him. So again, this is in a pro-black Pan-African space where it's supposed to be all love, but we'll see how much love and how much niggardry is going to be dispensed, and we're going to see what niggeritis is, right? We're going to see the symptoms of the sickness called niggeritis. So I'm setting the stage up right now.
Bitch walked in with so much money I had to give him a breeze truck to help me. Damn, I should teach you how to throw a 7. God damn. Come here, Phil. Okay, my man Smith coming in and I'm dropping jumbo. You got to worry about it. I've been with the bitch 2 years. 2 years and I ain't touched it. I got $200,000 from her. All right, me.
Hey man, there's Chinatown.
Hey, baby.
Hey, how you do?
Remember me?
I'd have to lose all the brain cells in my head before I forget something as fine as you.
Does everyone need an audition to get with you?
You ain't gotta go through all that shit.
Then I choose you.
Be cool, baby, okay?
Hey, bitch, come here. Got your motherfucking man, come here.
Mr. Pretty Tony, I mean, you know the rules of the game. I mean, your bitch just chose me. Now, we can settle this like you got some class, so we can get into some gangster shit.
You shade tree nigga. You ain't no pimp. You're a rest haven for hoes.
So that brings me to this. If anyone has been following me since day one, you know my interactions with this channel, Pan-Africanism Strikes Back. I always give it props. I always big it up. It's a very good channel. The only disagreement that I have in it that he's a walking enigma. He's a pro-black Republican, which makes no sense politically. That's our only beef. So we're more cool than enemies. So no real slant against him, kind of, But the topic we're having is not a usual topic this channel would have. And like I said before, we're just basically talking about relationships between men and women. It was about DJ Envy and how his wife for 10 years, wasn't sexually satisfied. And that's not usually a conversation, we will have on this channel. But it was a very good conversation until someone that was plagued with niggeritis joined the conversation. So without further ado, here we go.
And salute to the panel and salute to the chat. Now, what I've been listening to for the last hour I've been listening for the last hour to all these simp nigga analytics about what a bitch will do and what a bitch won't do. You get what I'm saying? Like, I understand certain dudes, a lot of dudes that they're raised up by the women that raised them. So, they have this affinity for a female. You get what I'm saying? It's like female. They start trying to figure out a female traits and what she will do.
So you can see here, he made an assumption talking about, because I went and I said my spiel about relationships between black men and black women from my perspective as a black man that is married with children, right? And I'm pretty much talking about being a man, and as a married man, taking care of your responsibility, which is your wife and your children. So your responsibility is your wife and your children. Their happiness would be a part of your responsibility as a husband and as a father, as would be there. Well, more your wife also, because your wife is also what they call your better half or your other half or whatever, right? It's a union, right? A man and a woman is a union. They're supposed to bring different things to the table. One is not better than the other, yada, yada, yada. So we can see already where this guy is going with the assumptions, which I pretty much find is projection, but I'll get to that later, about how because a man cares about his significant other, he's been raised by a bunch of women. Whatever. We'll see where he's going with this.
And what she won't do. I got one situation that will always tell me the story about a female. I had a cousin. She met this guy and she was like, "Oh, I love this guy. He can sing and he can dance, like Chris Brown." And then 3 months later, we was at a cookout and she was like, "I can't stand his ass. He always dancing and singing, whatever." So, that situation just let me know about a female is that when a female wants something, she wants that certain thing, but when she don't want that same thing that she like, it despises her. So it's the same way to where this young lady, she's talking about the guy that she's with now. And a lot of these bad wenches, you know what I'm saying, they do this type of thing, you know what I'm saying? Because, you're the type of person that you can fall in love with oppressed, especially if you come from a country like Congo, you know what I'm saying? The way white people did people in Congo, cutting off they.
He's pretty much talking about there was a chick on here earlier. She's from the Congo, and she was at the beginning first message this white dude. So in spaces like this, it kind of shoots your credibility as far as what a healthy relationship is. But that's neither here or there. Just trying to give you guys context of what's he's talking about.
Hands and feet to save bullets. You know what I'm saying? If you know that type of stuff went on in your country and you can still fall in love with a white dude, then more power to you. That just shows that the mental capacity to the point that our people can sit up there and watch a white man rape his grandmama. You know what I'm saying? And still invite that white man to eat if he say, I'm sorry. That just shows you the dysfunction of our people. But the thing about, how we want to bow down to a female trait is it just comes from the way we was raised up as men. Yeah, we talk like men, we act like men, you know what I'm saying? The police treat us, as if we're men, but our reaction and the way we talk and the way we explain things is based on a female with a man voice. You had a brother up here talking about he have anxiety if he about to bust. And he worried about it, the female net. I was telling him that Hold on. I swear. I'm just sitting back. Listen, I won't interrupt you at all if you let me finish, even if you're agreeing with me. But what I'm saying is that you have men that's sitting up here that's not defiant in their ways at all times. You get what I'm saying? And female consistent. Now, one thing Brandon said was true. These females are real.
Why does a man have to be defiant at all times when it comes to a woman? I don't get that. So if you're not defiant at all times against a woman, you're weak. Like make that make sense. I mean, it goes for anybody. That just doesn't make any sense. Like.
Husky. These females are real niggerish. These females got shoulders like Kevin Durant. They're built up like niggas. These females are evolving into niggas. You get what I'm saying? So, and the men are digressing. The men are more emotional. The men are more trying to get into.
Where does this dude live where black women are metamorphosing into big niggas like Kevin Durant? What is he talking? I think this is all for comedy effect, or this dude just lives in a fucked up part of town. Like, where do you live? Like, what is going on? What are your women eating? The problem is where you living and what your people are eating. It got nothing to do with the rest of black people. Just because it's fucked up in your part of town don't mean like everywhere else is fucked up. Like, are you serious? Maybe that's why he mad. Maybe they be where he coming up. If they big like Kevin Durant, they probably be whooping his ass. Like, nigga, you said what? You better go get me some ice cream from that corner store. Mama hungry. Like, like what the hell? Like, I don't understand. This sounds like something else is going on with this dude. Like, I don't know. I don't understand, but it gets better, y'all.
Get into their femininity, you know what I'm saying? And trying to figure out what makes a bitch tick. You get what I'm saying? So at the same time, we're on this planet to build and conquer. But since the black woman is on the forefront, black men are not competing. Since they can't compete, they fall back into a role to where, let me figure out how to make this motherfucker happy. You get what I'm saying? A female is happy when you're happy. The most simplest thing that I ever heard a nigga say is a happy wife, a happy life. You get what I'm saying? That's just dumb nigga talk. But this is how women.
How is that dumb nigga talk when it's basically understand that phrase, right? As far as like happy wife, happy life, when people use that phrase, is usually when, hey, look, how I see that phrase, put it like this, how I see that phrase, I'm a type of person, I pick my battles. I don't fight every battle. Any mature person don't fight any battle. So if someone's saying like, hey man, what's going on with that? Hey, the wife wants this and the wife wants that. Hey, I may not want to do it, but hey, it's a compromise. Or I'm going to give it into it this time. You know what I'm saying? You give a little to get a little, or you give a little to get a lot. No one knows what this particular dynamic would be. With me, I'll give a little so I can get a lot. Because I know what I'm given and what I'm going to get in return. So if you have, so that's what that phrase means to me, and that's how I take that phrase. Not everyone some people may have a different idea of what that phrase is, but that's how I live out that phrase. I don't think that phrase means, a person that says that means his wife is the one that quote unquote wears the pants. And so it's another sexist term, because back in the days, let's say like the 50s and 40s, women weren't allowed to wear pants. Pants were seen something masculine. Women only wore skirts and dresses. That's it. Even the Caribbean, it was like that. Same thing, same hemisphere, same time. There's just a generational thing. Certain women, I shouldn't say certain women, most women did not wear pants because it was looked upon as only men wear pants. There goes the saying, the woman wears the pants in the family. So anyway, so they may think that, that phrase as meaning that, happy wife, happy life means that the woman just rules all the time. Hey, there may be certain men that may be the dynamic in their relationship. It ain't the dynamic in my relationship, but I don't think he's that deep of a thinker, but you're going to let him continue.
Have beat men down, have trained them, because some men, like the men that get beat down like that, they deserve everything they get. You deserve to go around wondering about when you get paid on Friday, how much money you got to issue out to a bitch. You deserve to be a sucker. You get what I'm saying? And I have no, because I compete. So it's no woman.
Why am I doing my 40 hours plus to worry about to give my money to a bitch? I don't give no money to no bitches. And if you're a dude and you got to dispense money out to a bitch, then yeah, you deserve that. Right? So please, guys, take all this in, because none of this shit's going to make any sense when we get to the nitty gritty. None of this shit's going to make any sense. All this is some niggeritis on steroids. All this is some I wish I was a pimp, or I grew up around, according to him, husky bitches. You know what I'm saying? And you needed a domineering man because you had these husky bitches. So for you to even be heard of or seen, you got to be obscene. So anyway, we'll let him continue.
No woman above me. You get what I'm saying? Every female on this planet is beneath me, and that's just my aura. That doesn't mean I treat them bad, but my thought process is always supreme because of the way that I size up a situation.
So he's above a female. He's always above a female, right? I don't treat him bad, but I'm above. That's just my aura. Your aura, you a fucking asshole. Sorry to say it. You a fucking idiot. If you feel you're above all females just because you're a man. That makes no sense. Above a female in what capacity? Because you're a man, because you're smarter, because what you're faster, you're stronger, like what specifically it is. I mean, I don't think he's gonna lay in specific, so I think he's speaking in general terms. Like how, like what are you talking about? I'm better than anyway. Let him continue. It gets better or worse.
But when you're a weak trick buster, when you're a buster from Augusta, when you're a supersized simp, super ultra mega simp, You'll sit up here and be trying to figure out, you know what I'm saying, then what she do and and then go off of.
If you a buster from Augusta, if you a superstar, like, what the fuck he think he is? Willie Raymore? With all the like, what the hell? We got a wannabe Willie Raymore here? Like, what's going on? And I'm like, all right, maybe I shouldn't take this too seriously because this is more comedic. I really can't take this seriously. Like, if you a buster from Augusta, if you a supersized simp and a pimp and this like that, like, I step on the monkey's feet, and then like he got that shit on Netflix. Like, he must just saw on a Willie Raymore movie. Like, like, what the hell, yo? But anyway, continue.
What a female tell you, and you take that into low, or either you take it into low, or you give it a high probability of the truth. I got this old saying that as soon as a female get to talking, I get to not listening. You get what I'm saying? The only thing that can pique my interest about a chick if she's talking about when we gonna fuck, when she gonna cook, and when she talking about a baby. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, it just small talk. But that doesn't mean that I can't repeat.
See, when a female get to talking, I don't get the listening. All I care if a bitch gonna say where we gonna fuck, where we gonna eat, and about a baby. This is what he's saying. This is what the man is saying. As far as like how he's already better than a female, right? Just because I guess he's him or he's a man. I don't know. He didn't specify, right? And he further breaks it down as what a female could do for him, right? So we got that. You know, where we're gonna eat, where we're gonna fuck, and shit like that, about a baby. That's the only time where he wants to hear. If you ain't saying that, you got nothing important for him to say. This is what the brother's saying.
That what she says, because I'm a sponge for information, but trying to goddamn study female body parts and how they walk and how they talk and how they look, it's some straight up sucker shit. And y'all niggas that doing that shit deserve everything you get. Go ahead, my brother. I'll yield the mic. Preach.
Nigga problem, so I can't relate.
Kevin Samuels.
That's I'm in the background saying this is nigga problems, man. I honestly can't relate. Like this Negro sound like he needs a hug, like his mama beat him and shit and locked him in the closet with no food for like 5-6 days because he looked like his damn daddy. I don't know. I don't know. Like, where's all this hostility coming from about women? About how women ain't shit. Like, I don't get it. This nigga needs a hug and some therapy because this makes no sense. But it's gonna get crazier. It's gonna get crazier, and because it's really not gonna add up, and you're gonna really see it's just all talk. It's just all talk, just to sound good or whatever. Because the shit make no sense.
Nothing no hustle smart, dude.
That's a nigga problem. That sound like nigga problems.
Man, shut up, Black Critic, with your hating ass. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead, guys.
I don't deal with it.
So now I'm a hater. I'm a hater. This ain't, again, this supposed to be Pan-Africanism strike backs. This is not, this supposed to be a Pan-African space. This doesn't, so I'm a hater because I'm still wearing my kufi. I'm still wearing my Pan-African kufi, and I'm a hater because we're not pointing out now the niggeritis. So he's condoning the shit. Okay, his channel, he can condone it, whatever, and stuff like that. But like I said, this is very disingenuous. This is just bullshit. This is an act. And I'm going to show you why it's an act. I'm going to show you, but they're going to pretty much tell on themselves. I'm going to bring it out of them.
So I can't relate to what the brother's saying. So.
Guys, go ahead.
Yeah. Shout out to you, man. How you doing?
Very good, my brother.
Yeah, so this is an interesting thing over here. Personally, that would never happen to me. Put it this way. Even if I was a simp that couldn't put it right, that couldn't make the rainbows come out at the end of, and some little leprechaun come out to play, even if I was some dusty as simp, that would never happen simply because of respect. If
And now, what he's saying was absolutely right, is respect. He doesn't understand the concept, or he doesn't feel that, since he's better than a woman, maybe he feels that women aren't capable of respect. If you come in and you approaching a woman like that, you're going to get some low self-esteem female where her daddy probably spoke to her like that, you know what I'm saying, where she's going to have daddy issues because this guy, I think he got mama issues. You got like females that got daddy issues. This dude got mommy issues. This nigga got mommy issues. You know what I'm saying? Of neglect. So so it could work either way. You see how sometimes girls with daddy issues, usually either one or two ways, things are gonna happen. Either they're gonna crave a man because their father didn't give them that love and that protection that they wanted when they were a child, or they're just gonna hate on men in terms of feminists. Same thing with this dude. His mother didn't love him enough or hug him enough, or, you know what I'm saying, gave him dessert after he finished eating his SpaghettiOs and shit. So he has obviously a resentment for women. He's not craving the in his speech the love and wanting love from a woman. He probably feels women are incapable of that because his mother hit him with a hanger every now and then. Shit, I don't know, but it's clear that he has some mommy issues. So I'm gonna go on to the next segment here. I'm gonna keep it playing because the other dude was just as shocked as me.
Yeah, I mean, what the dude was saying just now, it totally ignores that women are human beings too. I mean, thank you. Like, I get it. I get it. You know what I'm saying? But like, I enjoy it more when she enjoys it. You know what I'm saying? If she just sitting there being a receptacle, is not as pleasurable from my perspective. If she's not into it. So I appreciate her being into it because that's one of the rare times that you can communicate that with the woman. Y'all, when you have coitus, which I call it coitus, you're actually communicating with that person. So it to say, we should not think about the pleasure they get. I mean, men aren't a species. Men are a type of human, just like women are a type of human. I mean, it's just going too far, of course. And there are. I used to throw strip parties back in the day. Ooh. Women have all types of goddamn them sex toy parties. They learn how to make dudes ejaculate. They put condoms on fucking bananas with their mouths and shit. They learn different fellatio techniques. I mean, just because you're not aware of it doesn't mean that it doesn't happen.
And I think that's what that dude's problem is. He keeps hanging around women that look like Kevin Durant, whipping his ass with clothes hangers all the time. So he feels that, hey, look, these type of, how can women care for a man looking like a man, beating my ass like a man? So he's just unaware of those things. So this gentleman here is just bringing common sense to the conversation.
I mean, it does happen. Women are human beings, man. I mean, just like we are.
When did women become human beings?
Wait a minute. When did women become human beings?
Wait. I want to say something before you hustle smart. I got you next. The thing is, though, a lot of dudes who get cheated on, a lot of dudes who, my girl is cheating on me, and, they can't figure out, like, why I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. They don't understand that sometimes it's just that you got somebody who is communicating with your woman in a way better than you can. And like you said, sex is, and coitus means sexual intercourse. I wanted to bring that up for people just in case they didn't.
Between a man and a woman. That's how I like to say coitus.
Yeah. So basically, they literally, you're communicating with your lady. And, we can all play the tough role. We could be like, these bitches. The reality is when you get freaking 79 years old, your homies ain't coming to wipe your ass. It's just the truth. When you get older and you start having problems medically or whatever, like...
See, so he realized that niggeritis was about to be spread all through his panel when the gentleman started talking. He don't like me, so I'm the hater, right? So he don't like me, so you're gonna call me the hater. But when the gentleman's just making pretty much the same points that I'm trying to make, it's let me okay, so yeah, okay, it is true. Before hustle niggerish does it and stuff like that, and just keep on with the ignorance. But yes, he is right. When you get older and stuff like that, your boy's not gonna be around. They probably might even be married, doing their own thing. You're gonna need a woman to also be just as to take care of you. At the end of the day, it's about take care of you. Right now, you're telling young men and young women, oh, fuck that bitch. A bitch can only do this for me. Fuck a bitch. All I care about is what a bitch does. Yeah, that sounds all fine and dandy and all that stuff and all this machismo, macho bullshit and stuff like that. But when you're a real grown man, that shit just sound fucking stupid. At the end of the day, you a 40, 50-year-old man. Fuck a bitch. Only a bitch could do for me. Like really, how old are you? You know what I'm saying? This shit makes no sense. But I'll let them continue.
I was watching this one YouTuber. This guy always made videos dissing women and not even dissing, just talking about high value men. He was one of the Kevin Samuel elites, right? I'm elites, but the followers, right? And he ended up catching cancer. And it wasn't mediocre tutorials and reviews. It was another guy. And he was just he had a stomach cancer thing. And he was fucked up. Couldn't get up. He was he struggled just to get off the couch to take his dog out to use the bathroom, just out to the front yard. And he was I basically laid on my couch for 6 months. He had to dial a lift, the medical transport thing to take him to get his chemo and shit. He was I literally would lay on the couch, couldn't eat, couldn't do shit, and just watch my dog lick his balls all day. He was that was my life for 6 months. And he said during that 6 months, not a single one of his male friends came over to help him. They'll stop him. Hey, what's up, bro? You good? Oh man, I gotta go. 15 minutes, 10 minutes. That was it. He said, but women who he dated, years in the past, and some who he dated, in the recent past, he was they would come to him, sit with him, feed him, help him. Some of them would give him a ride to his chemo appointments and shit. And he was at that moment, I just was I'm never gonna make videos talking shit about women ever again. Because he was the nurturing aspect is unmatched. I mean, you could literally have a woman who's an all-around slut, but let somebody be sick or something, and she'll go into nurturing mode. Now, not all women are like that, but I just think that that's something we should.
Damn sure ain't.
You see, so that was a beautiful thing that Brandon said, and that is true, And of course, this is where he's being very fair. Not all women are like that, but when you look at this story, and if you know enough women and you're honest, women are nurturing. They do go into mother mode. Some women are not like that, but to speculate and assume that all women are bitches, and what a bitch can do for me is tell me what another bitch is, where we gonna fuck. I was not all women are like that, but when you got niggeritis, that's all you see. All you see is just the negative aspect of things and people and so on and so forth. But obviously, as you see when he said, well, not all women, damn sure ain't. You got nigga writers. So, I get it.
No, they're not. Come on. But I think that's something that we could all take into consideration. And speaking of that,
Do I play the violins now or after?
You play it
Yeah,
right
for
now.
real.
But no, I'm gonna balance that out later on with a story about my own personal family that I had this morning. I had to curse my mom out, but I'll tell you that after this. But go ahead.
That's perfect. That's perfect. You going to me next. You going to me next. The reason why I was asking was women human beings, not because I don't know they're human beings, but it's just the way how this man was kept saying it. You get what I'm saying? Like the point of the point of saying that a female is a human being and saying that a man is a human being is fucking stupid. You know what I'm saying? Constantly stating the obvious.
What you were saying was fucking stupid, so people have to ask you fucking stupid, retarded, remedial questions because how you came off was fucking stupid. So we have to reestablish a lot of fundamental things that a 6-year-old will understand. Just understand what your mind frame is and where you coming from. So you get a fucking stupid question when you act like a fucking stupid idiot.
Yes. To make a point is fucking retarded. And that ain't no slight to him. That's whoever does it. That is like I'm finna tell you. I'm finna explain it to you. It's the same way if a female is goddamn beating a nigga ass, hitting a nigga, and a nigga turn around and hit the female, and somebody start hollering about where that.
You see, I was right. He said it's like if a female go fuck a nigga up, it's like where are these brolic strong women? Like, I kind of understand where he's coming from, because every example he gives is this huge, strong, towering, freaking Dwayne The Rock Johnson looking bitches. Like, what? Like, I would be scared too. Like, he really scared. Like, hey, fellas, we gotta do something. We got bitches out here looking like Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Kevin Durant. Like, what's happening with us? Mate, I kind of get it. Because I kind of get it, but bro, not all women is like that. You need to leave your town, leave your state, and check out other places where women are. But before you do that, you need to go to the reservoir and the water treatment plant to see if they're not putting steroids in the water. I don't know, or they lace tampons where you at with steroids and shit. Because like, why are all your women where you at so manly? Like, god damn.
That's a female. Well, we know she's a female. You saying it's a female, you saying it's a girl, but she's clearly a girl, is retarded. It's
No, what I'm doing, what I am doing.
Call right now. Oh, that's a call. That's a call. Oh, that's a call.
What I'm doing,
It sounds elementary. It's not what I'm saying is it sounds elementary in your thought process to consistently do it. You get what I'm saying? It's the same way saying it's a plane. It's a plane. It's a plane. You sound like the motherfucker from what was that show, Brandon, back in the day with the little midget dude used to be like Boss, the plane, the little midget Puerto Rican dude. I forgot what the Boss, it was the
Fantasy Island. Fantasy Island.
What was the name of the show? Fantasy Island. That's what it was. That's how redundant it was. To be calling out something that's clearly what it is. So that's what I'm saying. So it ain't the point that
he made a poor point. He said a lot of nothing. So he's not saying nothing because he pointed out as a female. Like what? Because you were talking about women as if they weren't human beings, like if they were an object. You know what I'm saying? Basically, that's how you were talking about women, like they're objects. I don't care if I please a woman, as long as I get mine, I don't care what a woman has to say as long as she's to give me information. That's pretty much what it is. So you didn't respect her as a human being. So people have to ask you that. Man, anyway, it's going to get worse.
That you care if a woman is into it. Yeah, I care if she into it, but I don't care if she ain't either. At the same time, if she's into it, more power to it. You know what I'm saying? But this goes back, Brandon. This is.
So I just want you guys to remember this because it's about to come home. If he's having sex with a woman, she's into it. She's into it. If not, she's into it. More power to her. If not, oh well. Keep all this in mind. A bitch can't tell him nothing, anything, because he said when a bitch starts to talking, I stops to listening. Or a bitch can tell me is where we gonna fuck, where I'm gonna eat, and about a baby, right? All those things he don't care about a pleasuring woman and all that. Women are husky, Kevin Durant, broad shoulders. All right.
Concrete evidence that goes back to what this whole show is about, DJ Envy. The same way that dude just said that he likes when a female's involved, is the same way his wife was saying that I put up a front. She said she put up a show. She put up the best effort to act like she was busting a nut for 10 years. So you got me. So think about this, Brandon. I'm just using the brother words. He said when he gets a good feeling because she's into it or whatever he said. He probably even said something worse than that. He get into it. He probably said I think he said he appreciate a bitch if she's showing that she's in it. But this just goes with the topic.
Far more women than you,
Cujo. Hey, Cujo.
I appreciate a bit. Yo, I give it to him. He's funny as hell in a niggerish way and stuff like that. So I'll be lying if I'm saying this shit ain't entertaining. Sad at the same time, but entertaining.
Yo, wait, no, let me ask you, Cujo, where you from?
Richmond, Virginia. Big up.
Richmond, Virginia?
That's right.
It sounds like now, was you raised outdoors or indoors? Because I don't disrespect nobody with even though I didn't agree with none of the bat shit, silk. Damn, I'm so smart. Interrupt you not one time because I disagree. It just shows the female trait in certain men when they disagree, they act just like the females that raised them to the point that you're interrupt a point. Now that's what.
Now, remember this also. I'll recap all this. So it's a female trait to interrupt, right? It's a female trait to interrupt. And it shows that you were raised by a female and da-da-da-da-da. All of these things. Okay.
That's what I'm trying to make. Now, Brandon, when you was talking about how some females will come and talk to guys like this, I'm telling you, I know for a fact, since the way that I am as an alpha male, the way that I act like a female can't do nothing but cook, fuck, have a baby, and point me in the direction of another chick if she ain't acting right. That's all a female can do to me. Now, if you want to be a sucker for love, you know what I'm saying? You want to go fantasy island.
Again, he's doubling, tripling down now. Where we're going to fuck, where we're going to cook, and you want to be in love, and all that, that's fine. Simp this, simp that. Okay.
Preach with a bitch. You want to lick her toes and draw bath water. That's what you want to do. That's fine, but you deserve everything that comes with it. Because once a female when she got a strong man down on his knees, she putting the pressure on him. So like this is
what? So he's saying if you want to draw a woman's bath water, do things for her and stuff like that, you deserve everything you get by tending and caring for your woman. Not a side chick, all women's bitches to him, not a jump off, You know what I'm saying? You deserve what you get. If it's your woman, if it's your wife, you deserve what you get. And if you got a woman, not a bitch, if you got a woman, yeah, you deserve everything you're gonna get because she's gonna show gratitude towards you, right? If you in a relationship meaning like, hey, look, I've been with this person for a while, you should know if you do those things, if she's gonna appreciate it or not. If you're doing those things and as a woman, she does not show you any appreciation back, then yeah, you a sucker, right? Because you doing what you can, you trying to do things, to her and for her because you like her, you into her and stuff like that. So she should be able to do the same. How I am, I like a woman, and I've been, saying if you with a woman, if she's turned on, I'm turned on. And when women are turned on, from my experience, they're more willing to do things to you and for you without even saying anything. But that's neither here or there. But obviously, he's saying if you do that, if you take care of a woman, take care of her needs, that she's gonna do. You deserve what you get. Like this dude needs therapy or something. But just remember all these things that he's saying, because at the end of the day, it don't mean nothing. It's like, oh, he's full of shit. Okay. But I'll let them continue.
The last part right here, I know for a fact that I know plenty of dudes, you know what I'm saying, that when they got, females wouldn't even come around them. But when they got locked up, or my homeboy fell off a motorcycle, some bitch came in the hospital that he ain't seen in 10 years. That's what he told me. You know what I'm saying? So, but he was like, I was like, well, why she didn't see you for 10 years? She was like, she didn't like my attitude. But soon as she saw me up in the hospital, laid up, she wanted to see him down bad. Even though she came around, she was with the sponges, she was with the peroxide, she was goddamn checking the bandages. He still figured that, no, this is a fetish for this bitch. She even though she's taking care of me, it's a fetish for her. She wants to see me down bad. It's the same thing with a nigga if he meet a bad bitch.
What? So someone you haven't seen in 10 years, y'all broke up because she's like, hey, I don't like your attitude. You get in a motorcycle accident. She heard you in a motorcycle accident. It's like, hey, you got a motorcycle accident. He's hurt real bad. Blah, 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 blah. She comes over and she tends to him. Him, like his twisted friend, is going to be like, oh, she's only taking time out of her day where she could do other things to take care of you in the hospital because she likes to see you in pain? How the hell does that make any sense? Like, I give it to you. Okay, let's say that's true. She could come to the hospital. Oh, wow, you messed up in the game right now. Like, damn, you all twisted up and wow. Okay, take care. God bless. That would have been it. Why she has to be to take care of you, to help you get better, so you won't be in pain. But that's the fetish. She can just have that picture in her mind of you in pain, you in the IV, all bandages up like the mummy and shit, and be on something like, oh yes, that nigga's in pain. Woo, I'm getting so wet. Like these Negroes are saying. Like, but that doesn't make any sense. But hey, when you got niggeritis, it is what it is.
And the bad bitch goddamn turn on a nigga or disrespect him, that nigga will sit up there and remember that shit for 400 or 500 100 years. And the next time he get a chance to get that bitch, if she ain't acting the same way, he's gonna react to the bitch. Females have a grind, an extra grind the same way men do, but females do it differently. Men do it on some grudge fucking shit. A female will sit up there and baby you and pamper you and then try to kill you. Y'all like to talk about movies all the time. Think about the Diary of a Mad Black Woman. That's exactly what she did.
I mean, when is he gonna stop talking?
Can I ask you?
When is he gonna stop talking? I mean,
hey, listen, man. Put a dick in your mouth like a pacifier.
You see, it's all funny. It's all fun and games, but he's letting a diseased mind person with niggeritis say a lot of crazy, dumb shit. And it's probably for entertainment purposes, I would guess, but this is not an African mindset. This is a nigga mindset. Because like I said before, I'm a black man. I don't have those thoughts. I never had that experience or anything like that. And even if I had a little bit of that experience, me as a black man is not going to co-sign a lot of the niggerish things he says to generalize on other people. So everyone's like, yo, like you letting this dude rock for a minute with pure nonsense. Like, what's the deal? But hey, like Tariq Nasheed, like many people put it, oh, but he funny though. He funny. So it's okay to say dumb shit and bullshit because he's funny. Got it.
That's so smart. You going too far now. Damn it, I was with you.
Now, wait a minute. I mean, he was quiet, but I only talked for less than...
He got mama issues.
Let me get an alpha male. Let me get the super chat. Alpha.
Exactly. I say he got mama issues. Like, how... Like, did your mother touch you? Then beat you, or beat you then touch you? Like, where is this coming from? But, again... It's all gonna be on some like all that shit just didn't matter. And if it did matter, anyway.
L screaming with a cracker voice. Okay. Listen, guys, when the pastor Hustle Smart is speaking, you gotta let him preach, okay? Because he's an honored guest on this panel, okay? He has his own channel. Hustle's the Simp Police Academy. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. It's a great channel. It's a great listening experience. And he's just preaching. So now what we're going to do, I 100% understand where you're coming from. But I mean, at the end of the day, men want their women to feel pleased because that makes men feel more manly, right? And whatever a person needs to make them feel happy, you know, I'm okay with that. Women, because and give them if you please your woman and she in there, oh my God, daddy, you know, you put it down, you know, you stand up, you want to beat your chest and shit like that, you know, you feeling all extra, you know, manly. There's nothing wrong with that. To make them climax before you're gonna have a certain school of thought who's like, it shouldn't matter. Around with 12 if you want to have a happy life and you're married or you want to be married, you don't know what you better give your woman some pleasure and you better make pleasure important part of
I'm going to assume that we're the only two married men on this panel.
You know,
so what I hear,
that's not true, but go ahead. Sex and who are good at it, for that. That's even look at it like, I'm stepping to please my woman. It's just something you're good at. You're just like, yo, my woman loves me. Make an ass out of you and me. Because Hustle Smart is the way, I think it's really the way we're looking at it.
So,
that's flawed.
Like I said,
it's the way we're
assume. I'm saying that I'm assuming. I'm not assuming for the sake of saying, well, I assume this is right. No, I'm assuming knowing that I want people to, I'm making an assumption. I don't want to say verbatim that, hey, look, you guys are actually not married, only me and Brandon. So, and when
you can be a man, you can be
gas him up, that said, well, that's not true. I said, well, I'm sorry. That's why I said assume.
And that's just a bonus.
And here you comes a dude that's plagued with niggeritis. You know what they say about assuming. All right, so, but here's the doozy. And Brandon's going to blow everything out the water.
Married, but y'all just didn't know. No, I'm just joking.
Exactly. I actually am. I'm married to a Bohemian chick.
But. So what the fuck are you talking about? All that shit, what a bitch could tell me to do is where we gonna fuck, where another bitch could tell me where another bitch is, what I'm gonna cook, all that shit. I'm better than the bitch, than a female. That's just how I am. So, hey, maybe he got some low self-esteem, no disrespect to the brother or whatever, but from my point of view, maybe you got some low self-esteem type woman that feels that a man could talk down on her and degrade her and feel like, hey, look, that's my man. That's the position I take. And I'm okay with that. Maybe that's the type of female he has, right? And then the other brother's going to say, well, hey, yeah, I'm married too, right? Later, it's like, so I can't believe what you're saying. Where's your wife? So you talk to your wife like that. You know what I'm saying? Does he talk to his wife like that? So this is all a game. This is all an act. I'm married. Okay, so you married, so why are you shitting on other people so you married your bitch? You know what I'm saying? So when you sat down, with your wife, you don't do none of that. You don't run her bath water or nothing like that. You don't care if she busts a nut and all that other stuff. You like, bitch, I got mine. You got yours? If you got yours, more power to you. Does he says that to his wife? That's what he's telling the world. Right? That's what he's telling the world. Does he tell his wife that, yeah, I'm better than you and all this other stuff? Does he tell his wife like, oh, bitch, what you gotta tell me now? You about to fuck? The kid's okay? Or you saw another bitch? Does he talk to his wife like that? Like I said, maybe he does, and maybe that's the dynamic of his marriage. But we don't know that according to him, till we get his bitch up there. You know what I'm saying? So I would never call another man's wife a bitch because that's disrespectful. But obviously he thinks that's no disrespect in that. So all this shit is an act. The only person that has their wife there be Brandon. And if you see sometimes on this video here, he starts saying something, his wife don't agree. He's like, stop. Yeah, all right, because what does that say? At least he's being transparent, like, hey, look, I may feel this way, but my wife may not feel that way. I'm being honest as him, but I gotta be the bad guy because I be getting at him, I be checkmating him. So him and I are only the only honest people on that panel as far as transparency. As, hey, look, when it comes to your woman, you can't be like that. So he's in his but let's see. Well, now he's making excuses because Brandon blew up his spot. Now he looked like a total asshole right now.
We'll continue to let these men with these feminine traits assume just like a female. So go ahead, bro. Get back to assuming.
I said assume. So I didn't say that.
Just make your point.
Wow.
Goddammit.
Wow.
Make your point.
Wow. I can't get like 2 sentences in.
You see what I'm saying? So Brandon be hating on me because I be bringing logic and I be cutting through the bullshit. I don't entertain the niggeritis like how he entertains the niggeritis on. Like I said, his space, his channel, he can do whatever he want. But this guy, you just blew your own spot up about how he's full of shit. Now I'm gonna capitalize on that. Like I said, I got not even 2 words in after he attacked me. I shouldn't say attacking me. I have to say I'm assuming and all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, it's whatever, right? So I'm gonna say say what I got to say.
All right, Democrat, don't start playing the victim on this panel.
Okay, jeez, calm down. Anyway,
like, who says I'm I keep telling him I'm not a Democrat like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's better than, you've been on this channel, it's better than being a house nigga. You know what I'm saying? Republicans, I told you about black Republicans. Black Republicans are proud house niggas. They got shit on other black people and to the lowest common denominator in order to be accepted by other Republicans. If you're going to be that proud Republican, but that's neither here or there. I'm gonna say what I got to say because I be speaking truth, so he has to cut me off.
Well, I'm saying, so when people talk about relationships, right? I'm seeing things from when I was single and when I'm a married man. So if we give a relationship advice, we give a relationship advice as who we were and what we are now as married men. So I would never give a man, a black man or a black woman relationship advice, especially referring to so when you mess with this bitch, right, and this nigga here and stuff like that, when you mess with niggas and bitches, all you're gonna have is trouble. So if you're messing with a bitch, then I'll say, brother, you need to get away from her because you won't be dealing no fucking bitch, right? Same thing with a sister. You don't want to be messing around with a fucking dusty ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? So that's number one, right? So when I hear people say and talk like that, I'm already checked out. You know what I'm saying? Because you can never give a bitch good advice because a bitch ain't gonna take good advice. A nigga ain't gonna take good advice.
Y'all say the B word or something. You guys are killing my monetization.
Yo, he said like 90 times, and you had no problem with it.
But he gonna send me a cash app. You not. So that's why I'm okay with it.
You see, so it's okay for him to be degenerate, call black women bitches and all that other stuff because he pays for it. You guys can make that as whatever you want into it. That says a lot. Don't say nothing, it says a lot. But like I said, okay, you gotta pay to play. Okay, got it.
Got you. Okay, I gotta pay to play. I gotta pay to play. Okay,
cool. On this channel, I want a cash app because you demonetizing my video.
And I did donate to Brandon, to his channel, right? Like I give him free publicity, I'm promoting his channel and his cash app. So if he sees it, he can't get mad at me. Don't be mad at me, Brandon. Don't be mad. You can't do me dirty like that and don't expect me not to get back at you, bro. Peace and love. But anyway, I'm gonna keep this video going.
Not cursing, but like if you really gonna go in, like come on, y'all. Think about
I got you, bro. I got you. Nah, but I'm pretty sure the brother has very good intentions, but I'm just saying, like, from my perspective, as a married man and having single friends that are my age and younger, I will not give him advice in that manner. You know what I'm saying? I don't do the relationship two things. I'm in my 40s. I've been married for over 20 years. I don't got time to play with the kid shit with the, this and all that. Nah, if you're going to be real, let's be real. I'm going to tell you grown man shit. I don't do the, he's a nigga right now. He's a bitch and feelings. Nah, let's be real. Let's be real about we really want to build on some relationship shit. You know what I'm saying? And you have to care about the woman that you're with. That's why I agree with you. If you care about her, you will care about her every need. Just caring about a woman's need don't make you a simp. It makes you a man. It makes you a compassionate person. If it's just some side chick and some shit like that, who gives a fuck?
I think caring about a woman's needs, it makes you a compassionate person. It does not.
Can I respond to him when he's done?
Hold on. I don't think caring about a woman's needs makes you a man. I don't think that, because you're a man based on what you're doing for you, right? I don't even think this idea of, a man has a family and all that, that's not, you were a man when you popped out the womb, dude. You were a male.
No, when I say a man, I mean as far as like a man, like a married man. When you're a married man, your job is, as a man, to protect your family, which consists your wife and your children.
What I think makes you a man is whatever you do it. You do your best. You give it your best effort, right? And not just effort. You got to have some type of success. Whether you're single and that's the lifestyle you want for yourself, or whether you're married and that's the lifestyle you want for yourself. I don't think caring about your woman's feelings makes you a simp. I think complaining about your woman when she does things and then saying that, oh, well, I did this and I let it happen because I cared about her feelings.
Exactly.
That's what makes you,
Yeah, I agree with
that's
that.
what
I agree
makes
with
you
that.
a simp.
Yeah, I
Like,
agree with that.
it's like if you should be able to get control over your situation.
See? So it's not like we're at odds with each other because I'm saying I agree with that. So this is about to pretty much almost come to an end. But remember, the dude's talking about females' tendencies, and when you got these niggas here raised by women and assumptions. So keep that in mind for the next 3 minutes.
Or leave it for a better situation. And that's why I have a problem with the new Kevin Samuels generation. I don't have a problem with Kevin Samuels, but these people that he's created, like, dude, you're on the internet complaining about women. Like, you have to be around this woman, bro. Like, you got your choice. Go handle your business. You know, like
the ratio is 19 to 1, man. I don't understand it.
Yeah, you shouldn't be.
Because I gotta go anyway. He got to pick his tomatoes, man.
And I'm gonna be waiting for my super chat or my cash app too while you bitch. Go ahead, dude.
All right, motherfucker. That's an extra $5 I'm gonna give you. Nah, bro, I love the show. I usually don't do shows like this, but you have a way of making something very low-hanging fruit extremely productive. And that's what I love about you and your channel, especially the whole panel. Basically, yeah, as men, you know what I'm saying, we got to stand our own square as men. You should be a man regardless if you with a woman or without a woman. That's what makes you a man. You're a man before you get in a relationship. A woman shouldn't make you or break you as far as like your manhood goes, right? So that DJ Envy stuff, like that's sad, that's pathetic. I wish him all the best, but his wife must have been getting on the side, especially if he never made her come once. That's just crazy. That's just crazy to me. But thanks everybody. You know what I'm saying? Peace to the whole panel. Later.
Hey, thank you so much, bro. I appreciate you getting on there. You know, Black Critic, he be sensitive, you know what I'm saying? It's okay. We expect that from Democrats, but they still got a home on this channel if they want to.
Now, what does any of this has to do with politics? He likes to just take shots at me politically when it's nothing political. We could be talking about fufu right now and other African cuisines, and he'll just bring up, yeah, so Democrat. I'm like, whoa, like, what the hell? That's like, sadly, Republicans is a part of their identity now. It's just not, hey, my name is Charlie Davidson, and I like to go hiking, and I'm a Republican, and I like fishing. No, it's, Charlie, what are you? Republican. You know what I'm saying? It's sensitive. I didn't say anything that was over that for anyone to deem me sensitive. So I don't get it. So a lot of that shit like didn't settle with me too much. So yeah, but it's gonna get a little bit more interesting. Remember, the dude says that female tendencies, right? People that grow up with single women, female tendencies, and making assumptions. Oh, I didn't grow up with just a bunch of women. My grandmother had 9 children, right? The house that I had a very big house, right? I had like this big, huge 2-family house, like, well, how many rooms? Like a basement, attic, probably had like 8 bedrooms or whatever. Basement, living attic, whatever. It was me, my mother, my sister, my brother, plus like 4 of my grandmother's children at that time were living there. So I had men in my family, right? Growing up, father and uncles. So what this dude is talking about, I'm not taking personally because, he's telling the truth. Nah. Quite the opposite. I had women and men all in my mix. So I used to hang around my aunts, and I used to also hang around my uncles because they were a little bit more closer in age, and we had obviously a little bit more in common because they were men. One was into martial arts, so I was into martial arts. The other one was into pretty much what I was into, comic books, video games, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So those two I used to hang around hard all the time. My uncle taught me how to fight. My father never really taught me how to fight. He's not really that fighting type. But my uncle was the dude to go to because he was the martial artist. So I went to my uncle. So anyway, that's a little bit of background. But we're going to let him continue.
All right, bro. Stop yourself. Anyway, okay, we're going to go with...
Brandon, before you get to your thing, you remember you was talking about how Black credit like a Democrat. Now, he know for a fact when we say...
Now, you see here, that is a female tendency. I have left the panel. I'm no longer there. That's a female trait. Or I agree with him in this regard. That's a bitch trait. Only bitch niggas talk about other men behind their back. Men talk to each other in the presence of men so a man could address it. That's some gossipy... You remember Pearl from 227 hanging out the window? It's that type of shit. Just gossiping, looking to see what other people are doing so you could gossip. That's a female trait. That's how I know this dude grew up around, according to him, a lot of Kevin Durant, Kevin Garnett, broad, wide shoulders, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson women who gossip all the time and whip his ass with coat hangers. Because what the fuck is that? You can't be talking about what it is to be a man and bitch this and bitch that and then assume, again, him about assumption. He made an ass of himself and himself. He didn't make an ass of me. Assume I'm this Democrat. Right on this channel and right on this very video, how I have spoken ill against Democrats. And again, he listens to what Brandon sees of me, so that asking me himself like a man, which is another female trait, is, hey, is he a Democrat? Because you keep saying he's a Democrat. Brother didn't say anything about he's a Democrat, independent, socialist, nothing. But Brandon said so he gonna assume like an ass, like an asshole. So there you go. See how everything comes full circle? Oh, I agree with this person. I agree with that person. While you married, get your lady or your bitch or whatever you want to call her. I'm not trying to call you woman outside her name. I'm only going based on what you said and see if she will allow that energy that you giving out on this channel to just go on untouched and thrive. I'm just curious. I'm just saying. Because Brandon can't talk about his wife like that. You know what I'm saying? The other dude on the panel, his wife ain't there, but I'm gonna bet he can't talk like that was what in presence of his wife. I know I can't do that in the presence of his wife. So we got a lot of fake machismo bullshit going on here right now. So already he's saying I assume, which he's doing, right? And when I said I was assuming, I said I don't know. I'm gonna make an assumption because I don't know anybody. So I'm assuming for clarity because I'm saying I don't know. But he's gonna make an assumption and run with it and do a touchdown and dance in the infield with it. So I'll let him keep making himself look like an ass.
The word bitch and nigga, we mean exactly like how we say homeboy or somebody. Because I know this is the thing. That's why you can tell.
That's some bullshit. That's some bullshit. Even though that's what niggeritis is. Niggeritis is taking something dysfunctional, right? This is one of the symptoms of niggeritis. You take something that's dysfunctional and you try to make it functional, work in a positive way, even though you're using it in a derogatory way. Or yes, it could be interchangeable as far as the context that you're using it, but at the same time, it's still dysfunctional. Like nigga. Only time I use nigga is to describe the mental slave-like capacity of a black person. I do not use the word nigga in an endearing manner because it's an oxymoron. We're speaking English here, and words have meaning. Words have roots of how they came about, and there's no way you could spin the word nigga in a positive light unless you a nigga. If you're a nigga, then the shit just makes sense. Like, I'm black. The white man says I'm a nigga, so I'm going to address everybody else as a nigga. That's an FBA niggeritis mentality, right? Out of all the words you could use in the English language that you could say who you are as an African man that will compliment you as an African man, no, I'm going to choose the word nigga. That feels right. That's who I am, because that's what the white man told you who you were. The white man's always right, so you're going to go along with what the white man is saying. That is what a symptom of niggeritis is, right? Same thing with bitch. Saying this, other women use bitch and stuff like that, even though it's a derogatory term that meant towards women, but that does not make the term no longer derogatory because a woman uses it. That's just retarded. That makes no sense whatsoever because that's a derogatory term. But if you got niggeritis, and that doesn't make sense because women are bitches, especially black women. Black women are bitches. That's what white people call them, bitches and hoes and all these other stuff, and degrade them. So that's what they are. And again, maybe his wife is cool with that. I don't know. He seems like a cool dude or whatever, as far as like that. I'm not his wife. No one is his wife. It's his house. He should do whatever that works for him, that makes him happy. I'm not trying to tread on the brother or anything like that. But honestly speaking, you think that's going to work for the masses of black people? You think by you doing anyway, he's going to try to backtrack the bullshit. So
these guys that was raised up by females, because I know some women that don't even like the word female. You know what I'm saying? So it's only derogatory when it fits a narrative. Because when I was growing up, who I heard call female bitches and niggas.
You see, he's just further proving my point. His life experience is his own, and he has the right to that. But when you're on a panel, a Pan-African panel, a pro-black panel, where we're supposed to be bettering ourselves, you can't keep spreading your niggeritis expecting something to be functional and right and no one check you. I'm not going to be one of these coward-ass fools on the panel and I'm not going to say anything because the host ain't going to say anything. And other people like, nah, I'm going to call fuckery out. And what is going on is just pure fuckery. Like, dude, you need fucking therapy. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe you just an entertainer and you just a damn liar because none of that shit that you're saying make no sense at the end of the day. Because let's say this, to certify what he's saying is actually real, like how he lives, how he talk, and he talk how he live, he walk like how he be it, is get his wife on there and have her say, whoa, yeah, because only time I talk to my husband is because, I'm a bitch and shit like that. So only time I talk to him when I want to give him some and when it's time to eat and or something with the kids, then I'm like, oh shit, okay. Like I said, I'm not saying either way, but it's all entertainment at this point because I don't think any intellectual person is going to believe that's how you move in your marriage. But hey, again, I could be wrong.
The most was females. You get what I'm saying? So, but what I'm saying is that's that catch-20, that's that double standard to where it's okay for them to say the word, but if a man say it, then it's wrong. But the problem is we got these simp enforcers that knowing that we don't mean it in this way are trying to capitalize.
Negro, get a dictionary. A word means what it is by definition. And it also means by context, yes, but the word by itself is still the definition of that word. It just means Oh, okay, so that's like saying, yo, that bitch ain't shit. Okay, yeah, let's put it in a derogatory way, right? But if a girl says, oh, wow, girl, look what I did. Oh, I did it. She did something great. Yo, I'm that bitch. Yeah, that's a little bit more lighthearted, right? And you're not going to take it the same way as you took the other word, but it's still a derogatory name that you try to put a spin on. And when you try to justify it, it shows that you are niggeritis. You got niggeritis. Put on a mask and shut the fuck up. Because you just talking shit and you just spreading your niggeritis by people or young people that may not understand what words mean or the impact of words. You may be you may be talking to people who are extremely impressionable and really don't have that much sense, right? So you're basically telling people it's okay to call people niggas and call people nigga and call on women bitches and niggas, and that's just supposed to be okay. Because sometimes I mean it in a positive light. Like, that makes no fucking sense, and that's what's wrong with FBA, and that's what's wrong with people that got this mentality, that got niggeritis, because they think they being functional. They think that is normal. But just like how you have a sick person, right? Like, so how you have like an alcoholic, or you have someone that's on drugs and things like that. What do they do is say, hey man, so you're going through it. I heard you have a problem. You got to get yourself cleaned up. And if you get them to at least admit it, it's like, hey man, I know, but hey, at least it ain't that bad. It's not like I'll be smoking crack every day. And sometimes smoking crack is good. Sometimes it gets me through the day. And hey, sometimes that is true with drug addicts. Sometimes they just need to do a little bit just to get them through, right? Or they may crash or something like that. He's doing the same thing. It's all right to call a bitch sometimes, because hey, I don't mean it like that. Or the bitch call herself a bitch, so it must be okay. So why is it wrong for a man to call that bitch a bitch? You see how dysfunctional it is? It's dumb. It's stupid. Especially in a quote-unquote Pan-African space.
Because they trying to impress a bitch. Now, the thing about it is that there's a lot of men that out here, they are seeing the power that women have. And even though y'all might think that I don't like women or whatever, which is crazy, but I'm saying...
Honest question, how is that crazy? You say we're doing something to oppress a bitch. And you're better than a bitch. That's just how you are. That's just your aura. And the bitch can't tell you nothing. I mean, you would like to hear what they got to say, but a bitch can't tell you nothing but where we gonna fuck, where I'm gonna eat, or about some kids. You sound like a total asshole right now. Sound like a fucking fool. I was gonna let this shit go. I was like, you know what? Whatever, man. But I was like, nah. I ain't like how this went down. Like I said, it's not a slant, or I ain't trying to get at the dude. Like I said, the dude, he probably has very good intentions. And I said that when I left the panel. I said, peace to the panel, peace to everybody, whatever. It's a female trait to talk about a man behind his back when the man has turned his back. That's some bitch shit. That's some bitch shit. You know what I'm saying? And like he said, hey, it sounds like he was raised by some husky, broad shoulder, razor sharp shoulder bitches. But like I said, I understand his perspective. That's where he's coming from. I got you, bro. I understand. But I'm going to say my piece right now because I got my back turned and I'm not letting people just, you know what I'm saying, just talk crazy about me without me even getting a chance to defend myself.
Right now,
black women have more power than black men right now. And there's some dudes out, a lot of men out here that they like power just like females like power. So these men are trying to maneuver themselves and reinvent themselves to simp for a black woman. That's why you got these black men talking about protect the black woman at all costs. Go interfere with somebody else's business. Like, you can have 35 kids at home, but you'll run out in somebody else's business that you don't know, you know what I'm saying, fight and kill to a female that won't even help your kids after you either die, go to jail. But
all right, I was gonna end it here. This is like, his examples is like just tragic, and it sounds like, I don't know if he's talking about shit that he's seen or shit that he's been through, and it's like he's putting black people to the lowest common denominator of dysfunction. So I understand his mind frame. If I was him and I thought that's what the world is, as far as like black women, I would feel like how he is too. And me, I would be curious to know, is what he's saying actually real? Does he talk it? Does he live like what he talks? Does he treat his wife that way? Does his wife know that? Yeah, I know how he feels, and I'm okay with that. I know where he's coming from, and that's okay. And I'm not saying that's not a possibility. I would just like to know as confirmation, just to see how deep the rabbit hole goes, because this shit is crazy. But anyway, you could check out Brandon's channels called Pan-Africanism Strikes Back. And people, that's pretty much it. I'm just out. This is like, I think I may need therapy after this shit, because like it's a lot. It's a lot to take in. Everyone lives different lives. Everyone have different experiences. If that's his experience, may the ancestors help that brother. That's all I can say. Thank you for sticking with me so long. I was trying to keep it short, but hope you enjoyed the show, and peace. I appreciate everyone who watched and hung in there with me. Later. Be safe. I found out who Hustle Smart is. I think he's really Norbit. His childhood, to his upbringing, to the women he's been around, it just all makes sense now. Enjoy.
If you think you had a rough start, you ugly black one, you can't give these away. If you feel you had a tough childhood, play with that. If you believe your whole life has been one bad break after another.
You got a girlfriend? No. What you do now?
Meet a nice guy.
Norbit!
Norbit. With a huge problem.
Don't adjust my seat. Look, that scientifically proved that you was adjusting my seat.
That's not science.
It is, and just let it go.
I'm just taking it. What am I going to do?
Let me tell you, just between the two of us, I can't keep Norbit off me. Boom, bam, boom, boom. But I ain't mad at him. Hey.
Eddie Murphy.
Right for your life.
Kate, I hope you don't mind. I asked Respucia to join us.
Of course not. I'm really glad you could come.
Well, are we going to stand around here all day, or are we going to go inside? Excuse me.
Excuse me, ma'am.
What?
Are you wearing bottoms?
Of course I'm wearing bottoms.
Okay, come on in.
There. Oh, hell no. What are you looking at, Norbit?
I was just watching some kids. They're about to come down the slide. I went to watch the kids come down safely.
Kids, huh? Yeah. So you want to watch a bitch come down the slide? Well, I'm going to show you how a bitch come down the slide.
Oh no, Rich.
Excuse me, ma'am. We have a 300-pound weight limit.
I don't weigh no damn 300 pounds. I weigh 165. How you doing?
That was awesome.
Whoa.
What's that?
It's Respucia. I'm gonna show you how a bitch go down a slide.